I'm just setting up the live stream. Thanks so much for coming. I think now the recording is happening. My name is Renee Hobbs, and I am delighted to welcome you to COM 250 Digital and Media Literacy for the spring 2022 semester. It's still COVID. So that's the bad news. But the good news is spring is coming because we just got that giant blizzard, and you know, how much more of that could we take? Okay, so what I'd like to do in the first part of this session is actually kind of take your temperature, because it's hard for me to understand what it's like to be an undergraduate student at the University of Rhode Island in the spring of 2022. And some of you are graduating seniors, some of you are juniors, some of you are sophomores, some of you are freshmen. So you're all over the map in terms of your life experience. You come from different programs. Some of you are communication studies people, some of you are business majors, some of you are in the life sciences, environmental sciences, and some of you are in political science and the liberal arts. So what a cool, diverse group of folks we have assembled. So I'm going to ask you to just play the mood meter with me. Will you use your, will you give a thumbs up with the icon or your actual face? If you can see my screen right now and you're seeing the very colorful mood meter. Sydney says yes. Thanks, Sydney. Caitlin says yes. Thanks, Caitlin. Okay, so this is an activity that involves using the digital annotation tool of Zoom. And so if you scroll your little cursor down to the bottom where it says you're looking at Renee's screen, you're going to see a button that says Annotate. And so you can choose the adjectives that apply to how you're feeling right now. Of course, I'm feeling very energized. I'm meeting my COM 200 students for the first time. That's exciting. But at the same time, I am feeling, I don't know, not morose, not glum. I'm feeling a little apprehensive because, you know, every semester is different. Even after 30 years of teaching, I'm still a learner myself. I'm trying to figure out what the next 4 months will bring. So I'm feeling a little apprehensive. Now, why don't you, oh, sorry, Kendra can't see the screen. Let's see now. Sorry that you can't see. Oh, good show, Kendra. Now you can. So play with the annotation tool if you can, and use a line, circle, or a mark, or basically just put something to pick the adjective that represents where you're feeling right this moment, today, Wednesday, February 2nd. Let me know if you need some help making the annotations. I'm happy to give you a coach through that again. Gina's kind of indicating, how do you annotate on Zoom? Yeah, that's a great question. So you scroll down to the bottom of the screen where it says you are viewing Renee's screen. It's like a green bar. And when you click on that bar, there'll be like a menu, and you'll click on the part of the menu that says Annotate. And you can use text annotation, you can use a drawing like optimistic. Somebody circled optimistic, right? Somebody circled tired, motivated, stressed, right? So Sydney says at ease. There you go. So if you want to unmute your microphone, you might just introduce yourself to me and explain why you picked the adjective you picked. Yeah, you can do that. Why'd you pick that adjective?
Hi, my name's Caitlin. I picked optimistic and tired because I am a nursing major and I had clinical last night. I loved it, but it was last night, so I'm a little tired.
Thanks for sharing, Caitlin.
Of course.
Who's next? Why'd you circle the adjectives you circled? Open your microphone and give me your reasoning.
Hi, my name's Kendra. I circled motivated and annoyed because I actually had the school get in touch with me yesterday telling me that I retook the same class twice, I guess, in 2019 and also last semester. So they're taking 4 credits off of my transcript after the ad drop period is closed. So I'm working right now to try to fix that. I've been working for yesterday and today to try to fix that situation. So I'm just a little.
Oh my God. Yes, I would say that is definitely worthy of being annoying. It's unbelievable. The bureaucracy and madness that students at URI put up with. So
they changed both the name and description of the class.
How were you to know it was the same class?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah, you're wearing a halo in my book, girl. Get through it. Don't let him off the hook.
Thanks.
Right? Stick with it. All right, who else? What's the reason for why you circled your adjective? Whatever it is, it's what it is. But why? That's what I want to know.
My name's Kaylin. I circled at ease and enthusiastic because at first I was a little worried about taking this class because I heard it was a difficult class. But after kind of the first week of doing the activities, I feel like I have a little bit better of a grasp on it. And I think that it might be hard, but it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited about that. And you also seem really nice. So I'm happy to have like a nice, pleasant teacher because I haven't always had the best teachers.
Well, I do think you kind of have figured out this class pretty well after only 2 weeks. So you're a very good judge. This class is a hard class, but it is also really fun and super relevant to like your life. So that's the other thing that makes it amazing. Who's next? Why did you choose the adjective you chose for today? Introduce yourself to me and explain. No other takers? Oh, darn. Sydney Harrison, I see you putting a star somewhere on the board there. Which you can just talk to me. You don't have to play the annotation game. You can just talk, open up your microphone and talk to me which of these adjectives works for you. Or you could put in the chat the reason for your adjective. You could put in the chat too. One of the reasons why I love the mood meter activity is that it kind of acknowledges, one of the things I really love about it is I love the quadrants and the colors. I love the idea that I could be both in the yellow quadrant and in the red quadrant. And that's really where I am today, right? And I feel like it also makes me pay attention to my mood because sometimes, I try to avoid it. I try not to think about what I'm feeling. And so this reminds me that actually to be a whole human being, I probably do need to pay attention to all the feelings I feel in a particular moment or a particular day, or even right here in COM 250 on the first thing. So I'm clearing the drawings now. I'm getting out of the mood meter. What I want to do, I've got to stop annotating myself. There we go. What I want to do is sort of talk a little bit about how you're experiencing this class through the path, right? Why there's so much collaboration in this class, even though we only have 4 of these optional synchronous meetings, and why I'm pretty confident that you're going to make a fast friend in this class, somebody who you're going to learn a lot from, besides me, the instructor, of course. So one way to do that is to remind you that when you completed the introductory module, I put up a kind of a poster, I guess, how to be successful in this course, right? And I kind of just want to talk through a little bit about how these expectations are kind of unique to this class, and they might be different than expectations for other classes that you've had. So which of these expectations are familiar to you from your vast experience being a learner? Now you've been a learner for what, like 20 years or something like that, right? A lot of years. Which of these expectations are familiar and which ones seem a little kind of weird or different than usual? Which of these expectations are familiar to you that you've encountered before, and which ones are kind of a little bit unusual?
I definitely recognize the take initiative in your own learning. That one I think I've heard a few times, but something I don't often hear is take risks. I don't see that in expectations very often, which that definitely caught my eye the first time. And I was interested to see what that would mean.
Yeah, yeah. So it turns out that to be a lifelong learner, you definitely have to take risks. And of course, I was fascinated when I saw you know how you guys did the Google Slides for your introductions? You introduced yourself to me, that a lot of you identified yourselves as cautious, careful, reserved, right? And I was like, okay, that's good, but this class might be challenging to a cautious person, because the rewards come from taking risks. And you'll see it in the leaps that we do this semester, how serious I am about that. One of the things I'd love to do to explain that idea. Oh, and then what about ask for help when you need it? Have you encountered that before in other classes? Why or why not? Oh, Kaylin, I love your point in the chat here. It's sometimes it's not common to see ask for help when you need it being put so explicitly in expectations, but when you're taking an online class, it's really important. So if any point along the way you are not sure, confused, do not feel nervous about reaching out to me, right? So my job is to help you learn. And the best way, of course, you can interact with me is on Twitter, because I am so addicted to Twitter that if you make a direct message to me on Twitter, you'll get an answer within like 10 minutes, because I'm on Twitter all the time, it seems. But ask for help when you need it is really this idea that you shouldn't be intimidated or think that it's a mark of weakness. In fact, you know what? When I was an undergraduate at the University of Michigan, it wasn't until my senior year that I had the courage to go into an office hour with an instructor. You know, I always saw it said office hours and it had a time listed, and I was just too scared to do that. And if I had questions, there was no way I was going to reach out to the instructor, right? And it wasn't until my senior year that I figured out that actually they were thrilled when I came to visit, right? And I made friends, and I learned a lot, and I got special opportunities because I showed up that actually did help my career, right? So ask for help when you need it. Try new ideas and take risks. Now, one part of that risk taking is dealing with this different kinds of collaboration. You're already experiencing that now with Leap One, because in Leap One, you're working in a collaborative group kind of asynchronously to annotate a video. And I just want to kind of review that assignment and see if you have any questions about that, or if you're feeling confident about that, because sometimes all the new tools that are used in this class can be a little overwhelming. And if you're feeling overwhelmed already, just wait. There is more. But you can see this week we're in why are media important? Most of you are well on your way to completing this module. and you're getting you're hard at work on Leap 1, the first leap. Here I chose 6 really interesting videos. These are long form media literacy videos in a way from different kinds of YouTubers, influencers, and such. And you're working with a team to analyze these complex texts using the 5 critical questions of media literacy. And if you're like me, you jumped right in. But if you've never used Video Ant before, you can watch the tutorial. That can be helpful as well. So I did see that the Tiffany Ferguson annotators are hard at work already. I had the great opportunity to interview Tiffany Ferguson for the Media Education Lab. She's got millions of followers. She's just a college student herself, just graduated from NYU, but she's making some really interesting videos about the internet. And she has a series called Internet Analysis. Right now, you'll notice if you're looking at this screen right now is that I don't see any place for me to annotate. I can play the video.
Hello, my dudes. My name is Tiffany. Welcome back to my series, Internet Analysis, where I like to research and discuss things relevant to social issues and media. Today, I want to discuss digital influencers, artificial influencers. Lil Michaela, if you're familiar, we'll get
Okay, got it. But see, right here, there's something missing. It's like just, you wouldn't even know it's missing because you don't even know it's missing until you sign in to Video Ant. Ideally, using your Google account. I can use any of the Google accounts I have. And once I let the University of Minnesota authenticate me, basically, yes, the University of Minnesota, I am who I say I am, then this button here appears. And now, when I'm watching this video,
creators, and especially those in marginalized communities that already might not have as many opportunities. Digital influencers and models are being used for diversity. These brands want to...
Aha! Diversity is an interesting topic, but I think she's going to problematize it. So I'm going to make a comment there. I think that might relate to the media literacy question. How do different people interpret this?
Represent BIPOC, LGBTQ.
I think that's definitely going to relate to that question. And so you can see how easily I made a comment. I can also respond. So don't think that you can't actually respond, because I'm going to make, I can respond. I could, if I could type, I could respond. Hold on here. To one of my peers. So I can actually kind of create
plus body positive people.
Asynchronous
They want to have an
conversation. Is that not cool? Leap 1 is really a chance to practice having an asynchronous conversation with and about these YouTubers, and develop your kind of critical thinking skills using these 5 critical questions. All right, let me just open the microphone and see, what questions do you have about Leap 2? This is your first big graded assignment. It's only worth 50 points, so it's not life shattering or anything, but you wouldn't want to blow this one, right? So what questions do you have? Have you tried the Video Ant tool yet? How hard or easy did you find it the first time? Have you ever used a tool like this before? What do you like or dislike about video annotation? Open your mic and let me know what you think.
So Sydney actually put it in the chat. She wanted to know, do you want every person to answer all 5 questions or split them up? And that's a big thing. That's what I was considering too. I wanted to know that.
Thanks for asking, Kendra. That's a great question. And Sydney, I appreciate it as well. Actually, you have to work collaboratively, and it would not be a good idea for everybody to answer all 5 questions. It would be really redundant, right? So really the idea is just like in a seminar room where, Sydney says something and Kendra says, oh yeah, I agree with that, but I want to add this other point to go further. So you can elaborate on or offer nuance or maybe disagree with, right? Or offer another argument, another point of view to your peers. But I think it would not be wise for everybody to answer all 5 questions, right? So this is really not about quantity. This is about the quality of ideas that come up as you talk about the video that you're annotating. So Gina asks a great question. Does the video annotation auto submit when everyone completes it? No, it's always open and you can always go back and edit it. It's never complete or finished. I'll consider it complete and finished on Sunday, February 6th, which is when I'll start to grade them. But up until that time, they're open and they'll stay open forever. They'll always be open. So yeah, so there's no done, which means that it's kind of cool because threaded discussion, this is an asynchronous discussion about a video. It happens at different points in time. So you may put in your comments on Tuesday and you need to go back and see who has commented on Friday or on Saturday, because you may have something to say to them, right? To respond to them. And also, if you do all the work and then there's nothing for your partners to do, I would expect that might happen in this group because you guys showed up to this, right? You are by definition overachievers, right? So leave stuff for other people to do, but then circle back so that you have an opportunity to deepen the conversation. Not like in a seminar room when we can get it all over with in 1 hour. We have to kind of do a little bit here and then a little bit there. I don't know if that was clear, and I don't know what other questions you might have about Leap 2.
The example you just pulled up, how there were I think 5 separate questions answered and they were kind of big paragraphs. Is that what you're looking for?
That's
or are you
one
looking for
way
more
to
mini?
do it. That's one way to do it. But Caitlin, there's a million ways for this annotation tool to be used. So I don't know that that's the best approach, but it's just the example that I pulled up.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
You can
Thank
get
you.
creative with it and or take risks.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. Who's got another question? Leap 1 should be fun. What questions do you have about Leap 1?
So are all the leaps going to be kind of one main assignment? Like, how we're all just annotating a video, like one specific thing, not like multiple things that make up a big project? Is this kind of like this, what we can expect for the next ones?
Oh, Kendra, what a great question. I'm so glad you asked that. To do that, I want to turn to the syllabus. And I just don't know if you can see this syllabus. Give me a thumbs up if you're seeing a syllabus that says LEAP project, 600 points, and then it has a list of LEAP projects. Give me an indication. Are you seeing my Word document?
Only seeing like the top bar where
got it. Okay, let me try that again. Hold on. Sometimes it's a little dicey there. Now what? Now can you see the whole?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So the leaps have different point values and they are different kinds of creative activities, right? And the big one kind of jumps right out at you, doesn't it? Leap 5, collaborate and create. It's worth 200 points. You and your partner are going to be making a video together collaboratively. That means there'll be a script, there'll be research, there'll be images, there'll be sequence, there'll be a lot of things, right? So you'll have a little bit of time to get that done, right? Look at Leap 4, what fun, case study of an influencer. Ha ha, right? That's worth 100 points. So there are 2 leaps that are kind of, from a grade point of view, the collaborate and create is 20% of your grade. And case study of an influencer is 10% of your grade, right? And then all the other things are like a little bit less intense. And of course, at the beginning, they're very less intense. This first one is a very low lift, a very light lift, right? So you'll see how they move in time to get more difficult. And some of them will have different elements, right? Some of them will involve posting your work to our Medium page. We haven't yet started to explore this yet, but medium.com/digital media literacy is a place where you'll be posting some of your work, right? And so I'll help you to do that, but all your, some of your writing will go on this group website. And what's kind of cool about that is you can kind of see examples of what my students have done in past semesters, right? If you want to get an idea of what some of these leaps are like, they're all there, right? So yeah, that should be a really fun, but also a really challenging part of the class. All right, so I went over the leaps. Oh, one thing I want to talk with you a little bit about. Oh, let me see if there's any other questions about the leaps now. The leaps and the assignments. Any other questions there? Oh, Kaylin asks, what about the depth? You know what? It's so interesting, and I am so glad you asked that. You asked, I haven't fully looked into this project in depth yet, but is there a particular length to what you want our answers to be? And again, maybe this will surprise you, or maybe you will totally get it. In the media business, one of the most important skills to have is concision. Concision, it's the ability to get a complicated idea into a very short space, right? You can't get hired in the media business if you can't take a 22-page article and synthesize it into 3 sentences, right? So concision is super important. So I always punish stuff that's been padded to sound like it's saying something really important, and I'm searching for, I'm reading, I'm searching for it. I can't find a single idea in it. I don't like that, right? And I always try to reward somebody who can explain a complicated and important idea in just a sentence or 2. So thank you for asking that super question, Kaylin, because that allows me to talk to you about how much I value concision. And you probably notice in the threaded discussions, as I talk back to you in the threaded discussions, that the people I'm talking to are the ones who've got the concision thing working, right? Because that's how much I value it. So thanks for asking that great question. What other questions do you have about the leaps? Or about any other part of the course?
I also have another question. So initially when I logged into the online forum thing, I thought that all we had to do for the first week was the introduction pathway. But then I think yesterday or the day before, I saw that there was that other one that we had to do, and I didn't see it at first, but I did do it. I'm just wondering if I could still get credit for that just because I didn't see it at first.
Absolutely. I am totally aware of what a learning curve this is. In fact, I have a student in another class who skipped right over the intro module, jumped right into the week 1 and week 2 modules, and wasn't aware that there was stuff she needed to do in the intro model. So, right. And that was way back, last week. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. They stay open for you so that you can catch up. And some students have registered late, forced add in, desperate situations. So you're not alone in that regard. I think the important thing to know is that each week, a new path, I think they're called, or you might call them modules, whatever, a new path will open. Like, see how when I hover over it, it says this one opened up on January 23rd and it was due on January 30th. This one is the one we're working on now. It's open and it's going to be due on February 6th. And so forth. So each one, and I send you, I think some of you guys have gotten my emails. I'm sending you an email every Sunday that kind of gives you the click here, reminder, this is week 1, this is week 2, this is week 3, and so forth, right? So what I like to say is follow the path. What I really love about Pathwrite is that it is so user-friendly, but I'm going to show you a couple little tricks to Pathwrite. If you, I think you're seeing my screen now, right? So here we are in the why are media important path. If I look at it the way you will see it, it'll look something like this. It'll show that I've started, but I can open this up and see all the steps, right? So there are all the steps and I can move any way I want through those steps, right? So this activity has got the whole tracking your media use activity. I can also use these dots up here to move through it.
We're actually only looking at your like homepage right now.
Oh,
like,
shit. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Let's see if I can figure that out. How do I share this with you? Maybe now you're seeing it. Ah, how about that? Now are you seeing my
now
screen? Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the beginning and see if I can share this with you. I'm here at the top level. Are you seeing a blue screen right now?
Green.
You're seeing a green screen. Wait for it, wait for it. Why is that? So it's got like a lag time to it. I think that's what's going on. Maybe now it's blue, huh?
Now it's blue, yeah.
All right, there you go. So when I click on a path, I can always go back to the main, it's called the collection, by clicking on this link up at the very top, digital and media literacy. That link takes me back to the sort of home page.
Yeah, I don't think your screen is like moving with you when you're clicking.
Oh, don't you hate that? I hate that. So I guess I'll go like this and see if I can try it that way. Isn't that weird that it's not showing you? Oh, I know what I can do. I'm going to see if I try by sharing the desktop, see if that works. If I share the whole desktop, now let's see what happens. When I open this link, are you seeing it open now to see all the steps?
Yeah, that works.
Good show. That works better. And then underneath, you always are going to have a create to learn activity. Since you'll have some time to do that. Some students emailed me and said, I'm afraid to submit create to learn because, it's not even due until Sunday. But never worry, I'll always keep that current for you. I just copied this from the last path because I've given you 2 weeks to explore it. And some students want to have more time for the leaps because they are so important, right? So that idea that when you start the path, you're sort of moving through. I love that. I love that. I hope you can see my little flashcards there. When you complete the step, that tells me that you're moving through the path, right? So you kind of literally just follow the path. One thing that's useful, I think, for students to know is that you can see your progress. So this is what I see. I'm seeing everybody's progress on this path. And Alex and Olivia and Sean and John and Emily, there you all are, right? Whether it's some students haven't even started this path yet, right? But most are done. About half are done. So you can always monitor your performance in this class by looking at the points that you are accumulating, right? So let me see if you have any other questions about Pathwrite and how to use Pathwrite successfully. What questions questions do you have about Pathwrite and how to use Pathwrite successfully? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions, so let's go on. I want to, I wanted to take the time to introduce myself to you, so you have a little bit of an understanding about who I am and why I'm so passionate about media literacy. And so I thought I would take you to my lab. My lab is located in Davis Hall, 108 Davis Hall. If you ever go into Davis Hall, you'll see my office there. But really, the lab is an online laboratory. The Media Education Lab is now 20 years old. I founded it when I was a professor at Temple University in Philadelphia, and I brought it with me to the University of Rhode Island. What we are is we're a learning community. We host events for people who are interested in digital and media literacy. We publish multimedia curriculum resources for people who are trying to integrate media literacy into the any subject area, really. And then we publish research, right? And so one of the things I'm most proud of, and that has really during the COVID become a completely crazy, wild, and important to us, is our events. And so right after this session, a little bit later today, I'm hosting a weekly, I don't know what we're going to call it. I guess it's a session on Clubhouse. Give me a thumbs up if you're familiar with Clubhouse or have used Clubhouse before. Anybody use Clubhouse, or does anybody know what Clubhouse is? Unmute your microphone and tell me if you're familiar with Clubhouse. Explain it to somebody who might not be familiar with it. Has anybody used Clubhouse? No, nobody's saying a word, huh? So strange. Yeah, so Clubhouse is an audio only social media app. And we basically gather for 1 hour on Wednesdays at noon, and the most amazing people show up. Last week, we had the president of Clubhouse in our room, which was exciting to me, right? It's like, oh my God, the president of Clubhouse is interested in media literacy. That's awesome. So we do a lot of events, and you're welcome to participate in any of the events that are coming up, right? They're really places of conversation. They're places of conversation for people who are interested in media literacy. And of course, I welcome you to check out our scholarship. Of course, if you Googled me, you know that I've published 12 books and about 200 scholarly articles, and they're all available here. I'm interested in anything that has anything to do with media literacy, but media literacy is changing. And that's one of the reasons why this class is so much fun to teach, because these days we're going to have to learn about algorithms, and algorithmic literacy is going to have to come alongside studying the news, studying entertainment, studying advertising. So because media is changing so fast, media literacy is changing fast too. And that's what makes it an absolute blast to teach. But I thought the best way for me to introduce myself to you wasn't really by talking about my scholarship and my academic experiences and my research. I thought the best way to introduce myself to you is with a thing called Fast Friends. I've been really, really interested in how people develop social relationships in online environments. And so this protocol is so cool. You basically take a complete stranger into a room, and the two of you explore these questions, one or more of these questions. And give me a thumbs up if you're seeing my screen that says round one. Round one. We're going to play round one. Good show. Thank you. Let's see now. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest? Would you like to be famous? In what way? Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? Why? What would constitute a perfect day for you? When did you last sing to yourself, to someone else? If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the body or mind of a 30-year-old, or for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want, the body or the mind of a 30-year-old? Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. For what in your life do you feel most grateful? If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? Ooh, interesting. Take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained one ability or quality, what would it be? Those are really interesting. The rules for fast friends are the person who's sharing chooses which question. And so I feel like, I think it would be really fun to tell you about my perfect day. Why not? I'm feeling like it's early February. Let me tell you about my perfect day. Well, my perfect day would probably be waking up in a hotel in a foreign country. Okay, maybe Istanbul, maybe Shanghai, maybe Sao Paulo, Brazil, London, Paris, the usual, San Francisco, right? But anyway, I'm waking up in a hotel room in someplace exotic. I am going out for an early morning walk along the beach. I try to walk along the beach as much as I can because I live here in Newport. I like that habit. And so I'd go for a nice long walk on the beach. I'd come back, and of course there would be breakfast. I love breakfast. It's the best meal of the day. I would have an omelet with some cheese and some fruit and some toasts. And if maybe it was a perfect day, I would have like a little mimosa. Let's see. Then there would be a whole morning of reading uninterrupted. I'm a major reader. Of course, my newspapers would all be there, right? Because I'm a New York Times junkie. So I would read the New York Times, and then I would read some more, and I would read some more, and I would read some more. And then I would go out and walk to a great place to have lunch, right? Really a nice salad, maybe some cheese, nice glass of wine. It is the perfect day after all, right? Then I would come back, and it would be time for some writing, because nothing makes me more happy than to have a writing project. So I would work on my writing project. And then of course it would be some kind of social interaction. Maybe it would be a gathering of just my 6 favorite friends who also happen to be in that exotic place. Or maybe it would be with my wonderful daughter and my grandchildren. It's getting to be even more perfect. My daughter and the grandchildren are like 2 doors down. And I get to play with the babies for a little while. This day is getting so great. And then an early supper, maybe some soup, maybe a glass of wine, and then off to a show, right? Maybe we're in New York and it's on Broadway, or maybe it's a little cafe, or maybe it's even a comedy club. Maybe it's improv. Maybe it's experimental theater, the weirder the better. Or maybe it's a gallery opening, an evening event where you wander around the gallery and look at the art and talk with people and meet people. I love that. And then, or maybe it's a movie, could even be a movie in a theater. Remember when we used to go to movies and theaters? It would be a movie in a theater. And then after that, a little gathering, just a group, small, 4 or 5, maybe 6 people at the very most, gathered over, could be a scotch on the rocks. It could be a scotch on the rocks, but then talking about the movie or the artwork or the politics or life, or you name it, and then hit the pillow. That would constitute a perfect day for me. All right, now it is your your turn. I am putting into the chat this link. Please navigate yourself to my list of fast friendships. I am going to put you in a room with somebody in this group, and I'm going to ask you to play fast friends with this person in your room, okay? Here's how the game works. I'll open up the breakout room. You'll be there with another person. You pick a question that you want to answer. They pick a question that they want to answer. The whole thing will take exactly 12 minutes. We'll come back and do some reflections on what happened. Give me a thumbs up if you understand the task at hand. I'm seeing thumbs up. That's super good. I'm creating the rooms. Rooms are now, hold on here. I'm going to move Caitlin and Sydney. You guys are in one room, and Kaylin and Kenra, you're in the other room. All right, rooms are open. Have fun. Okay, so here you are, just the three of you. That is totally cool. Since you have stayed to the bitter end, then let me just suggest. Do you see the? So I guess maybe the one thing I'll say is I've been able to basically benefit my whole life from being somebody who I could talk to anyone, right? And you can see here it is for the whole hour I've been talking to you, and you guys are blank black boxes. And yet we still had a conversation, right? I can talk to anyone. One of the reasons why is because I use that Fast Friends protocol all the time. Rounds 1, 2, and 3. Those are kinds of questions that almost everybody can answer and almost always yield to surprising, beautiful, and rich conversations. So think about using the Fast Friends questions when you're looking for out-of-the-box conversations to deepen your relationships. Now, because you stayed to the bitter end, guess what? In the very first activity that says, welcome to week 2, there you survived 1 hour with me, Renee Hobbs, and we did a Zoom meeting together. You and only you, the 4 of you, beautiful, talented ladies that you are going to get a 10-point bonus for participating in this thing. And I want to award you those 10 points, but to do that, you have to submit. You have to go into your week 2 and hit submit. And then what happens is that gives me permission to give you points for this activity, for the Zoom that you just participated in. Give me a thumbs up if you understand that idea, that I'm going to give you 10 points for participating in this Zoom meeting today. And that in order for me to award those points, you have to go to the first step in week 2 and hit submit. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thanks for being part of it today. I really liked meeting you. I look forward to seeing you at our next regular meeting, but I'll be seeing you online. Bye now.
Sorry, I don't know if this is just me. Where's the submit button?
Oh yeah. Hold on. I'll share my screen with you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I already submitted the first step.
Oh, good. So then it's showing up there. If you're if you're seeing it as a learner, down here at the bottom, it says next.
Oh, okay.
Once
yeah,
you
so
click that, then you basically have signaled you've gone through that, and then I can allocate the points.
Oh, okay. I already pressed the button. That's why I didn't
Good
see it. Thank you. It was great
All right,
meeting
cool.
you.
All right. I'll hang around if you have any other questions. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.